Hi friends, now I explain the fifth concept in our concept zone JFG CZ5. This is a very important concept, instantiation of objects, behind scenes. Actually, many students are not interested in knowing behind scenes what happens within the computer. They know that they can get answers for their all logical questions. Otherwise, illogically, simply implementing a syntax, they get the job. That's why one time you need not spend much time and all that. If you understand what happens behind scenes, then it helps you a lot and it contributes so much for your professionalism. That point you have to understand. Now, actually, instantiation of object means creating object. While creating object, what happens behind scene, that you have to understand one time. By that, many elements you learn, you never do anything blindly. Okay, this program in the previous concept constructors I explained, with the reference to this only, I am supposed to explain that. Here, instead of set data method, what I defined constructor. Hereafter, in all our programs, we use constructor only. Constructor name should be same as class name with the spelling as well as case, and no return type should be there. Remaining everything like a set data method. Now this is the blueprint class. Now let us go to implementation class. In implementation class, with one line of code only, I have created object. One line of code. Actually, this is calling constructor. Hereafter, no set data method. This is calling constructor. Calling constructor means nothing but calling instantiation method, standard instantiation method. Now what happens? Now new is a very important operator. This is an operator. Operator means don't expect it like a symbol like plus, minus, is equal to and all that. It is a Java operator. It performs three jobs. What are the three jobs? I explain. First, it calls the constructor. Calls the constructor means what I told you. Constructor is nothing but a standard method. Calls the constructor, and then actually for constructor only, in constructor only we have give arguments. Then 10 9.5 f. Okay. Now here actually it is a constructor, so it construct. Actually there are two memories, one is stack memory, other one is heap memory. A stack memory, both are memories only, they are meant for storing data. On stack memory is like this. Now age, here your age is there, int. Stack memory for variables means memory located containers, you can give the name. The name is attached to this thing. Why we call them as variable? Why variable? Why variable? Already explained to you. Now this year your age is 22. Last year it was 21. 21 is varied as 22. Next year what happens? It becomes 23. 22 is varied as 23. That means 22 is correct word is 22 is replaced by 23. 22 will be replaced by 23. Previous year what happened? 21 was replaced by 22. That's why it is called variable. Variables are created on stack. Stack specialty is the name is associated with the memory location. Suppose you constructed a house, then you named it as sweet home. Sweet home. Hereafter, people identify your home as sweet home. Okay, in the same way, this is like a container or your house, and its name is yes. Understand? That is a stack. But why heap? Stack is there. Why heap? Heap means now we are dealing with objects. Objects are created. Objects are runtime entities. What are runtime? Later I understand. Then don't worry about that. These objects are created on heap memory, not on stack memory. Then one problem with the heap memory is it cannot store the names like this. Whatever memory you require and all that is created. Any millions of bytes also are created. There is no problem for that. But what is the problem? We cannot give any name like this. You cannot give any name. That's why, okay, you can store. How can you access it? For accessing, name is required. That means it is like a paper part of the kite. Suppose you have paper part of the kite. That's it. Can you play with that? Why you cannot play with that? You don't have string. So if you don't give name, if you are not able to give name for heap, how can you call that? You cannot retrieve it. You can store it. You cannot retrieve it. That's why one mechanism is developed. Like this is this. If you treat it as a kite, paper part of the kite, this is a string. How it is created? Now you understand. This is like a book. The name is attached to that. This is like a kite. So now what a new operator performs? Now I explain. New operator performs three jobs. First one is it creates a memory. Whatever amount of memory for this thing and all that, that memory is created. That's it. And thereafter we are giving arguments, and it initializes them. Then what happens? It pens here 10. It is 9.5. Okay, like that you can store. Okay, our job is over. But data is stored. How can you access that? That's why we are creating a reference variable. Because of reference variable, what happened? Its type is cache bill. Its name is CB. Otherwise CB here. CB1 is its name. Its type is cache bill. Now this is created. A string is created. But this is object. Hereafter you understand. Many people do not know about it. This is the real object. This is object reference. Okay, both are separate elements. But because of this assignment operator, what happens? This is linked with that. Once it is linked, you never treat it as two. Actually, before a string is tied to the kite, you treat them as two. One is string, other one is paper part of the kite. Okay. Now once you tie the string or thread with the kite, that is one only. Actually behind scenes what happens you must know, because you want to evaluate the professional. That's why I am explaining. So now you understand. You perform three jobs. First one is it gets required amount of memory allocated on heap. Required amount of memory allocated on heap. Here how much memory is required, that much memory is allocated on heap. But it is simply called as an object. But it does not have any name. Suppose your father's name is Mohan. How you are identified? Mohan's son. That's it. Or Mohan's daughter. You don't have any name. It cannot call you Mohan's son and all that. That's why here object is created. Second one is it initialize whatever arguments we are giving, those values are initialized. This process also I explained. Where they go? Now this one goes here. Second value goes here to the constructor. This value goes here. Inter, these are initialized here. And inter, these are initialized here. This path you have to understand. Simple mechanism. But it is invisible assignment. You cannot see, but you should believe that. Okay, this is the way these instance variables are initialized. Now, second one is initialization. Object is created. But what is the problem? You cannot access it. You cannot access your kite. Paper part of the kite is flying in the sky. You cannot access it. When you can access it and control that, through the thread only. That's why you create cache fill CB1. One thing, whatever is the object constructor name and class name also should be the same. Then this is cache fill type thread and it is linked with this. Just so, what is the third job? Third job is the reference, means the address of the object is assigned to the object reference. So always you understand that object reference variable means like a thread of the kite. This is the paper part of the kite. This is a real object. Understand? Okay. This is both are linked. Hereafter you can treat them as one. This fact 99% of the students do not know. Colleges they never teach. That's why you must learn. Then only you can get answers for many questions, logical questions automatically.